One of my favorite plants in my own garden are Clematis. I've loved them since I was a little boy when I bought one in a box at a dime store, and it was an old purple Jackmanii. And my friend Sally Reynolds shares my passion for Clematis, and I don't think that we have ever done a segment on Volunteer Gardener just about Clematis, or Clematis, depending on
how you
choose
it.
To say it.
I am passionate about Clematis.
And you have some that you are particularly enamored of, and I would love for you to tell us what they are and why.
Well, you know, Troy, in the Clematis family, there are definitely several branches of the Clematis family. My favorite would not be the big flowered ones.
Yeah, those big hybrids with the 6 and 8 inch blooms.
Now, I mean, of which Jackmanii, I believe, is one of those, but it is quite prolific.
Right.
Many of the others are not. They have big showy blooms, but, you know, my favorite branch of the Clematis family is Viticella. They are smaller leafed. The bloom is in abundance.
Right.
Very, very
small flowers, often just 2 or 3 inches in diameter. But
exactly.
Hundreds of them.
Exactly.
Roguchi is one of my favorites, my very favorites, because it just performs and performs and performs. I mean, we are right now at the 1st of June. I would guess it's probably already been going for 2 or 3 weeks.
It has.
At least.
It has.
And it will bloom all the way through September, pretty easily, sometimes even into October. Small flowered, but just a flowering powerhouse.
And this beautiful bell shape, so a very unique shape. And so in terms of placement of that, you need to give it something nice to climb on, something that would also draw your attention, because these are not big flowers that you would go, oh.
Right. I mean, I have HF Young in bloom in my garden right now, and HF Young is sky blue and the flowers are 8 inches in diameter. You can't help but notice it when you when you drive up.
Exactly.
You know. But these are more delicate.
They are more delicate.
Yeah, and you need to have a little bit of a focal point, or you need to be able to walk past them. A lot of them are really good for scrambling through shrubs and things.
Oh yes.
Next to a walkway.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Whatever, yeah.
Oh yes. So my original Gucci was on that butterfly sculpture out front, whereas this one is on the lily sculpture now.
In the back, yeah.
But it's just killer this year.
And you have a really nice specimen on the arbor as you come up the back steps.
Yes, this would be Julia Coravon. And it is absolutely at peak right now. So I hope that you take advantage of it.
And it's a very deep purple.
It is.
Purpley red color, yeah.
It is.
And a lot of them in the Viticella branch are in that range of color. There are some other colors outside of that also, but a lot of them are in that pink to lavender to sort of deep purple range. And what other varieties of the Viticellas do you have?
Well, let's see. Out front, I've got the Étoile Violet, which started well earlier than Julia here.
Okay.
It was originally, it's been there for many, many years. It was originally climbing over some shrub roses that are now gone. So I've put just a metal cart up there for it to climb over, and it's over a bed of the gold creeping Jenny. And it's very purple, the Étoile Violet. So it makes quite a stunning with the backdrop of a big weeping Jap maple. Yeah.
And then over here by the Jackmanii, you have another.
There is another Viticella called Polish Spirit. Color-wise, it is very similar to Jackmanii. This flower is just smaller, and the leaves are much smaller, than Jackmanii.
Yeah, and the vine itself, even though they can grow to pretty great heights, I mean 8, 10, 12 feet, some of them.
Oh yes.
Pretty easily. It's kind of a more delicate vine, so if you do
very
have,
much so.
I mean, I would think of it running through maybe those limelight hydrangeas that you have, or big forsythia bushes or, something like that, if you don't have a trellis to plant it on or a wall where it can climb, or they're good scramblers because they'll use those shrubs as support but not smother them.
They will.
A lot of times you'll see reference to the fact that they want their feet in the shade,
yes,
but their tops in the sun.
Yes.
And how do we achieve that?
Well,
because they like to have cool roots.
They do.
Cool and moist, but they want to have their tops in the sun where they can flower and do.
So, I mean, to me as a gardener, you would just have to kind of study your site a little bit, and over years that can change.
Right.
It can change.
But it's also an opportunity maybe to, if you have a trellis or a wall that it can climb, you plant that right at the base of the trellis, and then you plant something else around the base of the clematis to help shade those roots, a perennial of some kind or a small shrub.
And to be very honest with you, this Julia Corvon, she gets morning sun. She does get some midday. She does get some afternoon. She is just flourishing. Now, do I have irrigation? Yes, I do.
Right.
But she's quite a specimen.
Well, my original clematis when I was a little boy, and I mean a little boy, grew on the east side of the house where morning sun, a little bit of shade in the afternoon.
Yes.
Perfect location.
Yes.
But they'll also grow in the full sun if their roots are protected a little bit, shaded just a little bit from just the hot beating down sun in the afternoon.
I agree. Depending upon what type of clematis you've got, there are 3 different types of pruning recommended, depending upon what you've got.
Correct. Because like in the hydrangea world, some of them flower on their old growth, some of them flower on their new growth.
Exactly.
Some of them will flower on both.
Exactly.
So
you need to know what you have and just search it, and it will give you that information.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for imparting a little bit of knowledge to us today about clematis, and your specimens are certainly beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.